We're going to do something a little different. Although this is still considered a backyard carpenters, we're actually joining forces with a small group from Church of the Highland that we call Carpenters for Christ 101. Tim's with me, and we're going to turn this material that you see right here into a stud wall. Now, we'll show you what that piece of foam is for a little later. And we're not actually going to install the window there, but we have to know when you go up to these, it tells you what your actual size is, okay, of the window, see it, and what the opening needs to be. So we're going to have to make our opening 36 by 60. Yes, with that 8-foot wall, that's going to take up most of the wall. So anyway, we're going to get started. What we're going to do is put our top plate and our sole plate together and cut them at 116 inches and 3/4, right, at the same time. Okay, little helpful information. We're going to be using 3.5 by 10 exterior deck screws. Now notice when you open the package, you get a little tip that happens to fit these out. These are star heads, all right? These star head screws are the 7th generation of screws. The first generation was a Phillips head. No, straight head, excuse me. Then it was Phillips head. Then it went on to now they're called star heads because they have 7 points of grab. As we continue on our stud wall that's going to have a window in it, we are creating a header. Right now, you may ask, what is that piece of styrofoam you got right there? Well, a header has to match the 2x4, which happens to be 3.5 inches. Well, the 2x6s that you see or 1.5, only 3 inches. So we had to put this piece of foam in the middle to make it 3.5 inches because the foam is 1/2 inch. Now, the new code starting in 2015, you can no longer use a piece of 1/2 inch plywood because of the HVAC regulations. You had to have foam. So we're about to put this thing together. What we're doing now is we're actually sandwiching the pieces together to make this header. So we're going to flip it over. As soon as we get 6 on this side, we'll flip it over and do 6 on the other side. Because I've got to be able to put this thing in the back of my truck, not in one piece, I'm going to have to take it apart. But we have, as Carpenters for Christ 101, we have actually built a stud wall that's going to have that window over there inside that opening. We did exactly what the side of the package did, and we've got 36 by 60 for it to go in. So we got our little cripple studs, we got our jack studs, we got our king studs, we got our common studs, and we were able to do this in less than 2 hours. Good job, Tim. Last night with the small group called Carpenters for Christ 101, that's teaching some guys the basics of carpenter. Tim and myself actually put together a stud wall. You know, we only had about 4 studs that were actually screwed together. The rest of it was just sitting there. So this is what it looks like on site. So I'll be putting this together, and then Jane's gonna actually help me lift it up so I can save my knee this time.
Okay, today our project is to sand these floors in the 2nd bedroom. What I had to do was go around the perimeter looking for nails, found several nails, got the floor register out, and one issue we have to address is...
The reason you have to look for the nails that they will tear up the sandpaper.
Yes. So this on the threshold we're going to address. It's kind of like a glue. They had carpet in here at one time, those peel and stick carpet squares, but we think the sander will remove that. So we've rented the drum sander and the edger for around the perimeter. So these are the before floors, and we'll show you the beautiful after floors this afternoon.
through 3 types of sandpaper. Started with the 40, 60, and the 100. Now it's just a matter of starting to vacuum. And we still have a hard time on the drum sander being able to tighten up the sandpaper on the drum sander. We actually completely destroyed our 60 grit because it just fell apart. We managed to get the 100 on there, so we've been able to do this. Now, next thing to do is take that vacuum cleaner and really vacuum this. And then Jane's going to do the coat of go to Macon, and I'm headed out there to work on the other stud wall. We have sanded, we have stained, and this is what they look like. Now this floor was a little different for some reason. You notice that they use different boards, real dark boards. And it's hard to see it over there, but some boards have got some beautiful knots in them. But anyway, this is, and a repair piece looks good. But anyway, so we're going to address right here. It's just, this is transition from the hall to the bedroom. And, we'll come up with a way to make it transition really good. But Jane did a great job on staining. Unfortunately, I was not here to videotape her doing it because I had to go take back the drum sander and the edge sander. Now, guess what? We're going outside to put together that stud wall that my small group built last night. Jane is putting together what I call the cripple studs that go under the sill that the window rests on. That's the bottom of the window. Up here is the header that takes the load away from the window, and it's up top. So she's in the process of doing the cripple studs while I'm working down here locking down. These are called king studs and jack studs. All right. So see, BC means, all right, now she's going to run to the other side and lock down the sill, the cripple to the sill. All right. So what she's getting ready to do, making sure they're at 90 degrees.
Okay, we've got the second wall up now. This is the wall that Van's small group from church built in our garage last night. And they labeled every board. And after class, took it all apart because they screwed it together. So they took it apart so we could bring it over here. And Van and I screwed it back in together again. And just now attached it to the back wall that we did last week. So that's a pretty big window. The opening is 36 by 60 for a nice big window. So we're coming right along. It looks great, doesn't it? I think the small group will be very proud of their work.